Welcome back, one and all. It's map 2, North. They were defeated. They were defeated on Inferno on map 1. But now we move to Overpass, and I think the analysts set it up pretty well, James. They said there's a lot of obstacles here for FURIA. It's not quite as simple as Inferno. This is going to be where North have a great chance to really assert themselves.
Yeah, I think this is going to be an AWP fest around the toilets for both teams, which will always be interesting to see. Looks like FURIA are going to be starting on the CT side. Lots of Brazilian support in the crowd today and on the internet as well. Definitely some fans from North here also. North will be the aggressors to start with. The pistol round will be kicking off very shortly indeed. So again, if you are just joining us, it is 1-0 FURIA, close score-wise, but a very strong performance on Inferno. And indeed, we do move to Overpass, and FURIA will be on the defense.
I'm looking forward to seeing exactly the kind of T side we'll get out of FURIA, because even though they're starting out on the CT side,
what do you make
they're
of
often
this,
good for 10. You know what, James?
He looks like the guy from Game of Thrones. What's his face?
What's that?
Yeah. He looks like, he does, doesn't he? Yeah. He's become more of a robot.
The learned man. Right. It's going to be interesting to see how much studying North have done of FURIA's game plan here as well, because there's been, I personally, I think I've seen FURIA the most on this map. In fact, I think FURIA came onto a lot of people's radars when, you know, Keserato, not too long ago, a couple months ago maybe, they got himself, what, like 40 kills or something in regulation. You remember that, James?
Yeah.
just blitzing people with the Krieg on the T side of this map, running around. I think North are going to have, I think we're going to see a lot from Yugi. I want to set him up. I think he's going to be one to watch in this one. As you mentioned, Jace, the AWPs are going to be key. Yugi is very good at moving around a lot. This would be the perfect time for him to really get going. But obviously, on the T side of things, it can be difficult sometimes to make the AWP work.
We are just a few seconds away from the beginning of this. Love to see the international support here. I think the Astralis fans will be disappointed. They've always got strong support here at the ECS finals, but on this occasion it seems to be Brazil the dominant support today.
Yeah, I mean, Brazil versus Denmark, James. It seems to be quite the rivalry recently. Obviously, both Astralis and NYB are out, which is kind of insane.
Yesterday was wild. It was absolutely wild. Absolutely wild.
All the upsets.
Yeah, I would like to see some more action here today. So there's some tech thing which is being sorted out. Who knows what it might be, but hopefully that doesn't last too long. Overpass. Do you think this is going to go to 3 maps?
I don't know. I don't think so. I want it to go to 3 maps, but I do still feel like FURIA will edge this one out. I think this one will be super competitive. I think Overpass is one of the best maps, if not the best map in competitive Counter-Strike at the very top level, just because on both halves you get so many options to be aggressive, to make a variety of things work. There's, doesn't matter what your economy looks like. But obviously, when you get the AWPs rolling and when you get those big buys on the CT side, you can go really aggressive in all kinds of different ways. There's so many setups. It's very interesting, very deep, James. So regardless of what happens, I think we're going to see a super exciting matchup here between these two teams. FURIA is aggressive. North are pretty ruthless themselves. And it looks like we're about to get back into this one.
Yeah, the countdown has begun. North will be starting on the T side. And they've picked up a fair chunk of utility. We're just 10 seconds away now. We'll see if North can bring it to a 3rd map. That would be a very interesting game of Nuke.
The pistol has begun, and already we see Yuri there in connector, the smoke down, and there's a lot of traffic. And Yuri will just be sitting behind that smoke. Able J, look at this setup there. 3 players from FURIA in connector as well. It's a party in connector, but the B-bomb side is left exposed. It's going to be retake city there, and that's a nice headshot, although not finding the frag. Then he will stay alive by Graffiti, and BCT's FURIA, they will not be denied entrance from the short position. No bomb can be planted at this point. Kirby, he's dead. Winning all the battles here. FURIA forced their way through.
I'm really surprised they didn't even plant the bomb in that situation. Of course, North don't know how many players are in connector, but in that situation, it's really tough to just go for a really fast flank because you have to fear somebody lurking in the back of connector with an off angle as you go through the door. So I don't know, maybe they're expecting more people to be around graffiti and so on, but there's no bomb plant all around for North. The odd P250 has been purchased, but they'll be focusing on the AKs in the next round, North, for the most part. FURIA with some nice rifles early. They've got 2 AUGs out already, Able J and Yuri, and they love to abuse themselves some scoped rifles.
Yeah, absolutely. It should be a great round to make some money. When diving through the smoke, easy work for Art and Yuri, or I should say just mostly Yuri, but still. All 5 survive for FURIA to help them build that bank, but North are straight back into the action with the AK-47s. And this will be interesting, actually, because of the SMG factors. I have no idea. Again, I mentioned earlier how many options you get on the CT side to be aggressive. I have no idea where to begin with FURIA here. They've got so many options available to them. They could play connector with these MP9s. They could play into sewers. They could just play a passive setup. They could get aggressive towards Fountain. They could play a conservative setup towards the bathrooms. There's all sorts of options available to them. And they're going to go for an aggression towards sewers. And so that's a great way to start off the round.
North moving through the playground area. Slowly, very, very slowly indeed. Gate's going to line up a pop flash for the party position. And there's the peek from AZ. Just in case there is a... When you see the molly thrown to that position, that's something that the Ts will often check for. So you've got to make sure your flashbang is there to force the CTs from their position. But FURIA aren't. They're around the toilets, or the bogs, as we sometimes say in London. Yuri towards long. Vinny's going to join him as well. There's a pop flash. It's perfect. Gets the information, but not any kills. Is Vinny good for 2 with the UMP in this position? Perhaps not. Case Rat has been taken out also, so we may be looking at an early round for North here on Overpass.
Perhaps. It's not over quite yet, but you would imagine there'll be a nade for Vinny. If they don't check for him, maybe he can get 1 or 2. 2 would really have been the money, but I will pick up 1 on the flank, which does unlock his ability to get connector. He's got good positioning here. He spots out AZ, but Gates there with the trade. That's pretty huge, but they've made it doable for Able J here. He realizes that the rotation's coming in towards B. Able J might be able to get a pick here as that bomb's going down. That would be absolutely key. He's actually made it into position in time. They haven't even crossed to the site yet. There is potential. These players are tagged up as well. Can North avert disaster? They know where Able J is now. Valde goes for the plant.
He's trying to avoid a double peek, but 1 will be enough. Gade delivers a headshot immediately. Imagine if he had peeked the site, there would have been some exposure for the bomb plant there. That would have been very interesting indeed. But it will be the first round for North, and we've got a buy coming from FURIA, and AWP's been picked up immediately, but there are definitely going to be some shortcomings having lost a round so early on their CT side. Lovely UMP for Able J. A French gun for Queserato. Arts on AWP though. I did say it would be an AWP fest around the toilets. Perhaps it starts now.
Yeah, indeed. And I think that round, I think Yuri's really kicking himself not to get something off of that flashbang into a long, but that is in the past. What is in the present is Art with the AWP as mentioned. The flick comes in, but it whiffs. So it's not a hot start here for FURIA. They've had some good opportunities, but North have been confidently taking those opportunities away. They've got that 5 versus 4 advantage. They've taken away the largest amount of firepower. The most dangerous player is gone. And they slow things down. They move together. They will be converging on that B-bomb site soon enough. And FURIA have some decisions to take here, James, because they don't have any utility. Surely North will just barrel over them.
Yeah, Art was really determined to get something from that connector position, maybe feeling with the setup of the team and what they have, that he has to get something or die trying in that position. It is early, so if the worst happens, there's a full buy to come later on. And indeed, we've got the creep from North. Not the first time we've seen this. 4 men walking through Monster. I think we saw it from Astralis before they were eliminated. Now we're seeing it from North. So far, so good. Gate looking for more, almost getting it. But there is a mad trade from AZ. 2 kills for him. Of course, the round is pretty much over. Yuri may look for the AWP connector, but it has long gone. It's in the hands of Yugi. So all he can really get out of this at the moment. So I'm fairly sure he is going to see if the AWP is around, but he'll see nope. I think it's been taken. You can get a defuse kit though, and try to hold on. So Early success for North. They've broken the money of FURIA. They've got 2 rounds in a row. And now they can build some cash to keep up the pressure for FURIA's next buy.
Yeah, it's a really good start for North. And I think, you know, this will be so much about the T sides. This game, I think both teams are going to have a pretty good T side, especially the way North have started things off here. And that's pretty exciting, I think. Always fun to watch teams work those T sides effectively on Overpass. And here is that pick onto Art. He missed his flick. He did have a chance to get some damage in, but it was always going to die there.
Yeah, he's picking scoped in as well, which is going to really slow down your movement. Really slow down your movement. And FURIA will be slowed down in general because they've got about $2,000 per person. Of course, they have the M4 on Yuri, but as a hero M4, it's not quite a hero AWP, so how on earth do you use it? There will be mass of humanity towards the graffiti position, but just with USPs. And the M4, what will be done with that? Is there another boost? No, Yuri's going to be looking to clean up, run distraction with the USPs and capitalize on it with the M4A4. We'll see what North are good for. They've cleared out the connector position already. They've got some pop flashes through to run some distraction towards short B. Now North will soon find an A bomb site, which, oh, maybe not, is empty because we've got a rotation coming in. They're mostly walking though, so they won't be hurt on that rotation, but the superior positions will be in the hands of North.
Really difficult to get too much done here for FURIA. They somehow find a frag there, Vinny with a headshot from the USP, but nice. Trace coming in here, Yuri finally arriving with the M4, and so damage has been done. A couple kills is not bad, considering all things considered. There might be more. Oh my god, surely not. Art has picked up an AWP. The alarm bells are surely ringing at this point here for North. They'll dart quickly towards the B bomb site. They know that it's free, but Art, he's got an AWP, James. There is a world where he can do this. He doesn't have a kit, and they could be lurking around any corner. He's got to be fast, and the peek comes in. Kirby finds that perfect moment, and he will eliminate Art and take away that danger, but danger will be right around the corner as the buy comes in for FURIA.
Yeah, that's the last thing, that's the last person you want picking up an AWP in that situation, but North were able to stabilize. Rotation coming in just in time for FURIA. Now, we spoke about North, and this is an opportunity for them to build up their money, to keep up the pressure and so on. That was quite expensive for them, so they could be in a much better situation. But it is down to FURIA to try and claw things back and win with numbers. There's more pressure in terms of economy for them. Now we see the even bigger mass of humanity to try and get a balcony pick, but no one is up there just yet. So how long will they hold this for? The thing is, even if you get a pick in this situation, there's so much information for the CT side. I do wonder if they would take a risk and try and put someone in a forward position elsewhere. You know that there are so many players in this position. You can't really have almost any map control anywhere else. So at what point do you give up on this? Is there a reason? You haven't given a reason for somebody to move into that position. So he's looking for the jump peak.
There it is.
And he might just get something from it. All right, so he's got the frag. But now the CTs know that at least 4 players are basically in T-spawn. And you see Yuri immediately gets into playground.
Got to respect the patience there. That was, I think it's waiting a good 30, 35 seconds for that one. But yeah, so there's still ways to salvage this. We've got 3 players on B. The flank is activated for FURIA, although it will take some time to make its way over. This is going to be a tough one. North are going towards B, and FURIA know it.
Yeah, that frag, in some ways, almost makes the hold of B even stronger. Because if you have the right reaction as the CTs, as we have with FURIA, Yuri starting to flank now as the push comes in. The flashbang will be avoided. There's the trade. There's 2 for Art, 1 for Able J as well. 2 versus 2. That flank needs to get activated pretty damn quickly. The Monster play is taken out, which maybe gives Yuri an opportunity as he moves through Monster.
Will he have any surprise here? Valde's looking for this spot. Oh, the damage. Gets 1 bullet in, but it won't be fatal. Valde survives 4-2, and we are having a lot of close rounds here right now. North are taking a lot of damage to their economy, but they started off so well, and they picked up an AWP for free and all of this. So Yuki has a lot of cash at least. He's dropping for some of his teammates, but yeah, that frag there was pretty awesome. The fact that they waited so long for it, you got to respect it. Because the thing is, as you sort of mentioned, James, you invest all that time, it's opportunity cost. You're investing a huge amount of time in getting a pick. What if you don't get it? You've just spent so much time that you can't get back, which you now have to rush map control because you don't have the time to do it safely.
We saw North on both sides of Inferno deter FURIA at times from doing what they wanted to do. I don't think they will be deterred necessarily from going for jump peaks from that position any longer, as long as they hear grenades around the map, Molotovs towards short and so on, normal things. This is always a nice boost for a CT side to have, but North have slowed it down. They know that FURIA are looking for an opportunity, so they will allow them to be hungry with desperation. Leg spotted for both sides, without able to win that duel. Anti-eco going well so far for North. They've got over a minute on the clock and they are in position to split the B-bomb sides.
Nades in. It's not really enough to stop this here for FURIA. It doesn't even matter if they have all 3 players here. They only have pistols. Well, Jay gets a free one. Doesn't want to pick up that AK, but that flash actually works out really well. The AK's in hand now. Oh my god, he's dropped the bomber as well. Yugi's dead. Any more? Yes, absolutely. There is. Able J takes down Gate as well, but he's now got 2 more players to worry about. His teammates have been taken down. He's only got 25 points of health. And perhaps with the bomb being down in Monster with 30 seconds left to go, North are committed towards this B-bomb side. Able J, I don't know how he could possibly make this one work. He's got to find a way to survive it. They know exactly where he is, and Valley comes in from the side. And that'll be another round for North, but another round where they lose 3 players.
The positioning of North was so key towards the very end there, because you see Able J, he sees the shadow from the jiggling on the short B position, but the other player just comes around the pillar at the perfect time. So maybe he was seen on the from the other perspective as well. Tactical timeout for FURIA, not a great start for them, but it is buy time, so we'll see what they choose to do. I'm sure North will expect some aggression, especially again around the toilets area. I don't expect Art to be so hyper-aggressive around connector. Scoped in, re-peeking after 2 flashbangs is quite an ask. So I don't think we'll see anything like that, but again, he has to be avoided by North, or dealt with, one of the 2. We'll see if they choose that aggressive incendiary towards T-ramp once again. Lots of questions to quickly be answered in this round.
I like that FURIA are taking a timeout at this point. They're on the CT side. It just goes to show that Overpass, there's so many options to decide between the setups as well. That I love that they get the coach involved there to decide what they're going to do to approach this round. And it's a big one. Arsenal back on the AWP. Not going for any early aggressive moves. Oh, that was rather close.
Smokes are being lined up to take angles away from Art as well. If he is around the toilet's position, you see the smoke that was being lined up has gone towards Divider. There's one for the entrance to the toilet. So these are the common angles. From Divider, you could look inside toilets for that smoke on the left, or outside for the smoke on the right. So that forces the CTs back. They can't get that aggressive peak and fall back. Some of those untradeable peaks are taken away.
So once again, it seems to be that B might be the objective here, the end goal for North in this round, as they retake Suez control. And FURIA have gone to a very passive approach, and it kind of makes sense. They've had a lot of success playing passively when they've had limited weaponry and utility, and so having the AWP or the Orcs and some utility and playing passive, surely that should yield a better result. We'll see soon enough as North now start to make their way in towards B.
Trying to avoid the flashes, the CTs. Able J's doing a very good job of that. Still North not in. Look, waiting for Yugi to get a pick. There's flashes flying all over the place in every direction. High ground, in connector, all sorts. Kiabi maybe looking for a plan B for North. Is there time to do this? A race car towards the A-bomb site, but it's been a slow push through connector for Valde. I think he was lost in the smoke. 14 seconds. This is going to be a really rough one. Does Yugi go for the wide swing, or does he play for the bomb planter? Valde's in there, ready, dead. The bomb's on the floor. This is disastrous for North. They tried to make a pincer movement, but I think that smoke may have completely thwarted them in connector, and they've got to go for a save. FURIA will win a round by timeout. Importantly, 4 players survive for FURIA. That's really key, because they have been struggling in these CT rounds so far, but it looked to me like Valde was lost in the smoke and couldn't find his way up the stairs. But again, a good position for the CTs. North racing to the site. They don't have time to check everything. He's in the red. He's low already. 1 bullet and he's done. And so is the round.
Yeah, it was a pretty crazy call for North to go for that fast play in towards A. Didn't work out. FURIA back on the board with another round. No AWP for Art though, but that's okay. FURIA taking it easy once again, not going too aggressive here. We're not seeing any fountain pushes, no A-long pushes, nothing in sewers really just yet. It's actually passive across the board. And Art is just checking the long position just intermittently there as he's the man who's deepest on the bathrooms. He does have Yuri around as well, but they're a little bit disconnected in this setup. It's more about getting information. See a re-smoke there coming in from Art, but will he creep through this? Well, there's just some spray through the smoke, isn't there? So, okay, so Art is going to make things quite difficult, and Art can't get away with that one, but it's a 4 versus 3 in favor of FURIA. That's a good start for them.
Minutes on the clock for North to proceed, and they will proceed down the long position. There's some jumping there, which I think might be heard by K-Serato. I'm not 100% sure from his position. They know that long is open, the CT side, and Vinny is holding quite a nice angle. Will his flashback be well timed? No, it won't be. He's taken out by Yugi. AZ doesn't really look outside the toilets, and he goes down for free. There's not one but 2 players here. I don't think North were even aware, and that's going to cause Yugi to get taken out. Focusing on one, taken out by another. Gade gets absolutely deleted by Able J, and FURIA may have found themselves some momentum.
Yeah, great round from FURIA, taking those initial picks, able to hold on to bathrooms. It's so strong because North felt committed at that point to force the issue towards A, but it didn't have bathrooms control, so getting onto the site is just so brutal. That crossfire between bathrooms and between the CT steps is just very difficult to deal with. That was also a bit cheeky from K-Serato. I thought that Kirby was about to make a huge play, pushing through this, potentially through the smokes, but K-Serato will catch him. Really nice round from him. FURIA back in the action here. They've actually forced North onto pistols. We're going to see a bunch of utility though from North, but so far I'm only seeing a couple AKs. Yugi should be able to afford one as well. So likely going to see a faster pace round here, James. Perhaps a B rush. It could be on the cards.
We'll soon find out. It'll be interesting to see what FURIA expect as well, if they're keeping a track of where North's economy is likely to be, an accurate track, that is. Very forward spawn for Yuri and Art. They will be very tempted to go for an aggressive peek. There's that deep Molotov. So that causes problems for North. That normally makes you spend a lot of time clearing out the upper areas, but again, they're looking for close quarters with the CZs and so on. Yuri will get the sound cues as they move towards a short B position, and that will allow smokes to be dropped. Vinny will play in front of the smoke grenades. 3 players on B, expectant of something now. They've got plenty of audio information. Look at the rotation from FURIA, almost a full commitment towards this B bomb site. They've got smokes and flashbangs to be replenished. There's a flash to go behind Vinny, a quick peek, and nothing doing just yet. You can have a passive angle from the bank position to make sure there's no flank if you wanted to. And indeed, we've got Arts going back now, but FURIA are very prepared, very proactive. And North now, again, they will remember that Molotov that came earlier, and it seems that they'll go on an investigation to see what kind of makeup FURIA have at the moment. What is the framework of this round for the CT side?
It's a pretty scary round for North, considering the fact that they only have these 3 AKs, and it starts to move towards the A side of the map. But look how reactive FURIA, or I should say, on top of things, FURIA are. They respond almost immediately to this change of pace and change of position from North. There's an incendiary down, which will allow Art to go for a big flashbang here for his teammate to go for the peak. Look at that, beautiful stuff. Yuri's full blind, but he does get the kill, he gets the information. Nice flick there, long range from Art with the AWP. North once again committed. Oh, perhaps, I was going to say they're committed towards A because it's not too much time, but they're actually going to go for that quick rotation back towards the B bomb site. But if anything goes wrong here, they are done. And Vinny's playing from the ramp. There's nothing that they can do. Surely, Able J cuts them down as well. This is a disaster, James. Another fast rotation. And North get blown up.
Yeah, North are getting drilled at the moment. See notes being taken by the FURIA coach, which is quite important. Maybe notes for later. Even if you win a round, maybe something could be improved upon, or maybe it's just notes about North, habits, behaviors, things to exploit later on. That is 3 rounds in a row for FURIA. It's been an arid environment for them up until recently in terms of rounds 1. They won the pistol and then not much else beyond that. Speaking of pistols, that's where North are at the moment. They've got 1 flashbang, maybe to try and burst, to abuse their numbers. Again, going through connector as per usual, and FURIA will want to fall back. At least have the AWP further away. Yuri's got the sound cues, and they've got a smoke, which makes things a lot more difficult for North. I don't know if there's any really good flashbang from this position. Maybe in left and right click, but you're so close to the exit that it would be heard. FURIA will use this opportunity with the smoke up to fall back into better positions as far as A is concerned. And Vinny's doing some jiggling towards short B, so we'll see what North will choose to do.
Well, they've been running into time issues in a lot of these rounds. Obviously, this one is not. It's a pistol round, so they can't expect too much. So that's a discussion that we can get into on the next buy round for North. But as far as this round is concerned, it's going to be difficult to get onto that bomb site. We've got a good defense around this bathroom position. We're going to need a fast headshot here. You're going to see Art taking away the attention with that. AWP gets the first pick. He set up Yuri now. The baits and switch is looking fantastic. Oh, even pulls out the USP for a cheeky headshot onto Yugi. And that would be a great hold from FURIA. They barely take any damage at all. So here we go. Back into the buy now for North. FURIA have just taken the lead. North have to, they've got to find a way to stop them.
Art is 15-4-7 at the moment, having a good game. FURIA now in the lead. We've got the buy for North, so we've got AWPs on both sides. We'll see if these Molotovs persist from FURIA towards T-ramp. I think Yuri's just deployed it, actually. Indeed, he has. So once again, this just generally slows down the round for North in most cases in terms of dealing with the party position. You never know if someone's taken an aggressive spot there, but Art will be heading towards that long area. So again, North stuck in playground, and someone will have to flash the party position. Normally, it would be the person in AZ's position. They'll use smokes, which makes the area vulnerable if you were a CT. Makes it hard to trade and so on. Work together, but they've already fallen back. Art still focusing on long as North creep up towards the toilets.
This adjustment that FURIA made to go ultra passive has worked out really well for them so far. We'll see North creeping through the bathrooms. Art's going to spot one. That's if he missed all the rest of the team that were moving forward. So it looks like FURIA will have players in position there. They've got 3 on the A bomb side already. So they're looking pretty good. And Art obviously has a pretty strong understanding of what's going on towards the long position. And wow, they line up. Perfect timing on the peak from Keserato, and North are in trouble again.
That HE is going to be brutal. Kiabi's taken out. The trades continue. 2 versus 3. There's time, but there isn't personnel. It's not perfect for either team. Art smoked off towards long. He's falling back now, but AZ's alone at the front of the site. And Art goes through the smoke to join his teammates to set up a crossfire. AZ considering a smoke grenade, but you never know if it's the right or the wrong time in a situation like this. He hears some fire, some bullets. He knows that it might be a bait. Can't focus too much attention. A high flashbang move to clear the toilet's position. Sorry, the truck position. Optimus spots one. And again, Art's baiting him. Able J will take him out. And that is a solid round for FURIA. Just want to note, once Art took that shot and he missed towards the toilet's position, his teammate threw a Molotov inside toilets to help Art fall back. Because obviously he's got to try and cross to the site, but there was some little detail there. That's a huge headshot from Yugi. What in the blazes? Is that based off the trajectory of the grenade?
I don't think it's based on anything, Jay. I think he just shot the dice and just got lucky. That is pretty amazing, though. And also it was utterly unimpactful. Didn't do anything for the rounds. And actually, FURIA's money's building up so much, they're just not dying on the CT side. They're having even more success than North were, when North were having a lot of these clean rounds, building up their economy on the CT side of Inferno. FURIA are looking really good here. Since they adjusted to playing really passive, it just worked. The style choice is working so well against North. They're being completely dismantled. They can't even get in through the choke points here before losing most of the team.
Yeah, it's rough. As soon as one is spotted in that short B position, the smoke is up, but AZ's got an AUG, so maybe he can do some more, maybe not. They can make it expensive at least, maybe they can't. They get taken out in quick succession. 4K from Vinny, trying to catch up with some of his teammates. So there's some jiggling from the CTs, they drop a smoke immediately, and North do not want to be subject to the utility of FURIA, so they take the gamble. Doesn't work out on this occasion, but they're back on the buy. They've got 5 rounds, they can still get 7 before this half is over. And they've got a good buy. The 4 AKs, the AWP, the utility, but can they best FURIA?
Again, like the really cool thing is just how they're playing against North, because against some teams you want to be aggressive all the time and just suffocate them by taking away map control, threatening to get picks in really deep positions, all this kind of stuff. FURIA tried that approach very early on with a couple of their first buys, didn't work out. Since then, they've just played super passive, and they discovered that North seemed to struggle in these really slow rounds where FURIA do not go for any early engagements. North don't seem to be able to find ways to get consistent picks. When they're forced to run set pieces, they're not going their way. Here's a contact play to try to get a pick. Is it going to work out here? Yugi, lots of pressure, misses a shot, but the information is there now for FURIA.
There are flashes and smoke for Abel J, and he is cleaning house at the moment. That smoke will create some space for himself. Kyabi looking for something, but that smoke will not be so helpful. 4 players now towards this B-bomb site for FURIA. Just about smoking the short B position. Kyabi wondering what to do. There is no real good decision. It's nothing but gambling at the moment. To spray in the smoke. Does some damage, but no kills just yet. But they start to come in now with Gade and Kyabi. Things are turning around. Bomb plant possible. Some smoke to create some space for the T's. They've taken the B-bomb site, but can they hold it?
Yeah, that is incredible work from Kyabi. I don't know how he managed to find so much damage. Oz looking to see if he can find anything there from Graffiti. It's going to be quite difficult because North are never going to show themselves. They have the 3 versus 2. They've got the position. There's so much money here for FURIA. I mean, they're never going to have money problems. There's never a world where they don't go for it here. See Art throwing in an ace, trying to see what he can do. Eliminate some positions. Yuri finds 1, but now Art's going to get 2, but he won't. Gade shuts it down, and North pick up the round. Really good stuff from Gade and Kyabi in that one. They absolutely saved it. I thought they were done after they lost 2 players at Monster. I thought it was over.
Yeah, FURIA had to go for it. They can buy regardless. They give up an AWP, but it might not be the worst thing in the world. Huge frags from Gade on the B-bomb site. Huge frags. Much needed rounds for North. They're putting themselves in a quite reasonable place at the moment as they move towards the CT side. But let's focus on the last round of the first half first. Molotov towards a short B position to compromise the CTs from taking an aggressive angle. And the CTs will have a molly that will be taken out by the smoke from North. Can have some HEs behind those mollies as well. I wondered if we would see one when North were in there with the CZs and so on, but never mind. Valdez made his way through the monster position, but Vinny is waiting with Dior, trying to crab walk, but that's not quite going to work out for them. Abel J's activated, only for a few seconds though. Now Vinny's got a lot of work to do.
This is pretty awkward. 2 players, 2 CTs in the water is actually really annoying to deal with, although Yuri will go down. But Vinny's still in position here. Perhaps he can be the X factor in this round. He needs to be at this point because it's just Art left with the Orc, but in comes Art, and that's going to buy some space. He's got 2, and that's huge now. A 2 versus 2 as Vinny comes into action as well. They'll get the Molotov down on the sandbags position on short. Now it's up to Art. He's actually going to burn Kyabi. So a 1v1. He's going to go for the tap of the bomb here, try to bait out Yugi, swapping out to the AK, seeing what he can do, but Art's nailed it. A quad kill, 20 for 9. Can you believe it? 9-6. For FURIA.
They held on to their utility and it came in clutch towards the end. 20 for 9 for Art at half time. We'll see if he can add to that after the break.
Introducing the ECS Premium Pass. The unique viewing experience allows you to get further into the action. It enables you to focus on any player within the game and even the ECS official observer. Subscribers will have access to interactive HUDs, detailed statistics on all players and an improved minimap and much more. All Faceit TV Twitch subscribers will receive full access to 11 additional streams for the ultimate CS viewing experience. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe now for only $4.99 and watch CS the way you want to.
Nobody's gonna hold your hand when it comes to healing. Nobody's gonna understand why you still feel the way you do. It's pretty often that I feel I just don't fit in. And that's okay, 'cause everybody's different.
North will pick things up on the CT side, similar to Inferno. They're not too many rounds behind. I think it was 10-5 at halftime. Now it's 6-9, so a little bit closer. And again, opportunity knocks with the pistols, but the pistols have been a problem on occasion, especially with the plays of the likes of Keserato. And we spoke about explosive AWPs around the toilets. We didn't even see that much of that. I don't know where all of Art's frags came from in that half. But
well, that's the thing. They adjusted, James. They're like, you know what, we're going to go hyper passive, and it worked.
Yeah, but now it's Yugi's opportunity once the buy rounds come in to do the same, and I expect a lot more rotation from Yugi as well. A boost towards short B to start things off for North. They'll keep some eyes and maybe catch someone off guard, although they could be caught off guard as well. Don't often see a boost by this window to look into the short B position.
Okay, Seranto is the frag leader for ECS Season 7 Man Finals. Nice.
For the moment.
For the moment, indeed. Let's see if he can maintain that position. The creep towards the A-bomb side here is going to be interesting as they look to try to get an opening kill, but it's a little laboured for them. AZ looking to defend long now. He sees one player towards that position, and AZ is going to pick up the kill on Savini. So North off to a good start. AZ, another frag. It's looking really difficult here for Furia. AZ, he's got himself all 5. That is incredible. He makes it look so easy.
That is exactly what they needed. I think that's a good way to rally the troops as well. Get an ace in the pistol round, just as Furia did earlier on. Some nice one-taps. That's beautiful from AZ. Always in the deathmatch servers. Often bump into him when I'm in Europe. 2 rounds now. This is going to be closed once again. Just like it was on Inferno, I feel like we are obviously very likely to get a close score in the coming rounds. Furia have bought next to nothing. They've got a taser on Art and a flashbang on Vinny. A taser on a T side with 5 Glocks. I would love to see how he's going to use that. Again, with the taser, it's about creating opportunities. The kill bonus sucks, but of course it can be very expensive for the person on the receiving end of it, and picking up a weapon can give you a great opportunity. But with the CT side, you have the luxury of the angles and maybe get more out of it. But let's have a look. It's still alive for now. Now the taser's gone, and everybody's in the shredder. The documents have been deleted. On to the next one.
We've seen a lot of aces in pistol rounds this tournament, James, I feel like. We saw the Keserato ace, we had the AZ ace there, we had the Oboe ace, many pistol aces.
Yep.
There's probably more that I've missed so far, perhaps. But here we go. North, off to that good start, and you know, Furia, they went really aggressive straight away. We saw, you know, a couple situations where, you know, pop flash, push, went awry on long. Art couldn't hit his shots when he went like hyper aggressive on connector. And will North go for that really high octane start as well? That's a great nade onto Abel. And looks like they won't. They'll kick it off with a very passive approach. That's how, you know, Furia develop things. But will that be an approach that works against Furia? I would say that against Furia's style, you don't want to play too passive against them because their set pieces are really devastating.
Can Furia abuse their weapons advantage? What is going on there? He's taking it all for granted. What in the blazes? That is a mistake you cannot afford when Furia are on the T side of any map. They won't give you opportunities very often.
It might be a save now, James. Might be a save now. Look, they're all out of position. And the A-bomb side is really hard to retake. There's 5 players and some post-plant utility. They are going for the save. And that's one of those things where you begin to wonder, is that just a lack of focus? Because North, they haven't, like up until that point where Kirby gets contact, North have not seen anything in the entire round, and they had no vision of long. So that's a possibility.
That is the 3rd round of the half, which is terrifying for North, but also a good thing in that if you're going to do something stupid like that, you want it to happen now, not in 10 rounds from now. So you can recover from this mistake. It's cost them a round. It's given FURIA a lot of money, as obviously they haven't lost anybody. So the implications are bad, but they could be a lot more severe. So that's something. And it may put the money in a weird spot. Like, does Kiabi go for a full buy? Does he spend all his money and then have nothing in the hole? As you can see, he's not going to do that. He's going to have to buy UMP again to keep his money with the team so they can buy together. So that's a smart decision from his perspective, and it's nice that they have the focus to be able to do that, because some may just go for a full buy there and just make things even worse potentially. Yeah,
and it's something whereby, you know what, sometimes you just get caught off on a timing, and A long is one of those spots on this map, because you just don't expect teams to kind of run all the way up, but you don't really give sound cues away, because A long is like so much on the extremities of this map. It's like you can see they're running with their backs against the wall, so that they don't give any sound cues away, but they can run up. They can keep running as far as possible. And they kind of go for the same thing here. But Kiabi's learned his lesson. He's jump peeking this. He's spotted it, but the utility is going to force him out of position. And once again, FURIA with an A bomb site to play with, but Yuki's in the bathrooms. How are they going to deal with him?
Yeah, let's see what the awareness of FURIA is like. I love that they chose to abuse the same thing. Let's see if they make the same mistake. And they are kind of on the site, but again, it's cut in half in the the weirdest angle. Yuki jumping, surely he's been hurt. Now the scope has surely been heard, but what can they do to deal with him? Yuri's been lost, so this is a very unusual round of Counter-Strike so far. There goes Art, there goes Vinny. This is looking like a very good round for North. Very unusual. Just the one kill so far for FURIA, and Case Rato's left alone. Let's not count him out for sure. Waiting for a repeat. We'll see if it comes from Yugi. But, oh, he's got some sound cues as well from the rotation. There's one. 3 more to find. 28 seconds, though, not all the time in the world. Moving the outside, escape moves to the inside. Goes for a deep peek, another 1 versus 1. 22 seconds, they're moving towards him. But they're lining up. Some tags, but he can't finish off Valde. You did start to wonder. So FURIA, I like that they saw something to exploit and they tried to exploit it. It ended up causing a very weird situation for all concerned. But that's a strong round from, well, it was a strong round from North until Case Rato made it a bit worse.
Yeah, and you know, FURIA have some interesting moves, maneuvers towards that A-bomb site. Sometimes they like to take bank control, and they like to play at the site, you know, in ways that most teams don't. So, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing some of those set pieces from them in future rounds. But as you say, good adjustment from North. You know, FURIA trying to see if North would respect that they might do that again, and North have made the adjustment. So that's something that now FURIA have to just respect that. However, there is an element of conditioning. So it could be the case now that North are going to be keeping players towards long, maybe. They'll be trying to play two-man long setups, or maybe they'll just ignore it entirely. We'll have to see if there's any element there, because FURIA, you know, they could be trying to condition North to have a more A-heavy defense. Yugi going for the quick pick towards Fountain, won't find it though. And they're going to go 2 towards A long again here, James. So Yugi's going to meet them. Oh, misses the flick, gets tagged as well for his troubles.
Minute 25. Yugi moving back once again. FURIA trying to abuse this long position, and maybe there's a long con being played by FURIA here, where they're trying to condition North to focus more on long so they can exploit something else later. We'll have to keep focus and see if that does happen. But for now, we've got Kiabi by divider. Yugi's trying to be dynamic. We've got 3 players towards the A-bomb site. There's no lurkers towards B for FURIA, so looks like North have made the right decision for the time being. Passive positions on B, and they seem to be comfortable at present. You can spray these walls of divider. There's a big flashbang. Will there be a trade? The continuation spray is there, but KRB will be taken out. So that's an early warning, as FURIA still needs to make inroads towards the A bomb site. I'm not sure if that smoke grenade was deliberate or not. If he's trying to invite a peek, or otherwise, Valde will collide with a smoke grenade, get eaten by a flashbang, or eat the flashbang rather. 29 seconds for this bomb to get planted. The Molotov is important, but Valde has to be dealt with. He's been spotted, there's time to deal with him, and he will be dealt with. The bomb still has to get planted though. AZ in the smoke, looking to make a play. The bomb collected, and there's a Molotov for the CTs. This is causing big problems. That smoke's fading. Yuri's got to cover, he's got to go forward. That's not ideal, but he has to crash. If he stands, he might die. 2 versus 3 in favor of North.
This gets really interesting now. Man disadvantage, but they've got some good positions. Gade will get caught out by Art. He's going to reposition, and Vinny needs to connect that headshot perhaps. Finally, Yuki gets into the action, but another headshot coming out from Art. He's doing some massive damage here, looking for the quad kill as there's a player on the ball. He's going to stick hit here. Oh, no, he actually comes off of it. Oh, Art's managed to pull it off. He gets all 4 kills, saves the round. What an important clutch from Art. You love to see it if you're a FURIA fan. But North, their money's been decimated here. They're in trouble. They're going to force it up, but it's going to be difficult, to say the least. This is a crazy round here. You got to also just really appreciate how Yugi was kept out of the round for so long, for a good minute. He was pushed back by at least three Molotovs, a smoke, flashbangs. He couldn't get any shots in until it was a 2v3 situation.
(11-9). The MAC-10s are out. It's a mixed bag for North, but they have no helmets, so those MAC-10s are high-firing cannons at this point. Again, FURIA going to the long position with the rifles, of course, the long-range weapons for the long-range engagements. They'll look to clear the part of the toilets out. Now let's see how hungry North will be for information. AZ's been poking and prodding towards a short B position, but they're going to need to go for some info in order to rotate some players, and it seems that Vale will make his way towards the A bomb site to join the other two after spotting some players towards long. Again, FURIA with 1 minute on the clock, charging up the long position. They're really feeling the weakness, and they'll eat a grenade and fall back. Again, they've got more time to play with. AZ moves close connector. This might allow a stack off the A bomb site. We could see a rotation from Gade, but will it come fast enough? Again, they are weak, but some of these FURIA players, Vinny taken out, but there's a trade, which means more map control for FURIA. AZ's in the red, but he's not dead. Trying to get something done, but he won't. And Gade at this point may just want to save. His Kevlar is of value, so is a smoke grenade. It will be suicide to go towards the A-bomb site. Yes, he could try and pick up a weapon or something, but I feel like there's more value in what he's holding than opportunities up the stairs.
Things get really interesting strategically at this point because, you know, as we have pointed out, you know, there's this element of conditioning that's present now where FURIA just keep going A long. They keep going A long. There's always 2 players like pushing A long. They're always ending up on A, and they're getting huge value from it. And it's an awkward spot for North because you don't want to over-adjust. So you've got to find a way to respond to that. And I think one of the responses that North could potentially find is playing a bit more aggressive around the bathroom area, like at the very early stages of the round, to at least slow down FURIA's approach and maybe get a pick before FURIA get towards the long side. But FURIA's team we see here, like they're so good at moving in with utility, and their ability to, you know, line up all the nades on the A-bomb side absolutely shuts down the defense. Great pop flashes as well. So you don't really want to let them get into a position where they can just run a set piece with all 5 players. But North won't really have too much of a response in this round, one would not imagine, but they will stack towards the A side of the map here. See what they can find. Gade, he's got that Creed that was saved, but a bombardment of HEs will take down AZ.
What can Gade do? This is a position we spoke about with the Molotovs previously. When CT's thrown a molly, then you can have to look out for someone there. Well, that's a nice pick off. He needs some more 1 versus 1s, or maybe he doesn't, because Yuri will rip his head off. 2 USPs remain, and FURIA looking good for a 13th round. The bomb's been collected. Now, with only 2 players remaining, you may think that they just want to focus on moving into a bomb site, and now it's just Valde. I'm sure there's not much he can do unless he manages to kill 1 person, pick up a rifle. Then there are some 1v1s to be had. He's got some sound cues, but Fury is waiting for him. And FURIA are close to a 2-0 here. This is very dangerous waters for North.
It's crazy. It is so crazy that they've fought their way. They had to defeat Astralis twice to be in this position. And if they can close out their advantage, they're going to be in the finals, James. How incredible is that? It's so crazy to think that that's a possibility, that that's a realistic possibility. But we'll see if North can stop that, at least force it to a 3rd map. We'll also have the timeout from them as they try to figure out what the best approach is. And again, FURIA, one of the big questions for North is how do we adjust without over-adjusting to the fact that they are taking position towards A so easily in the early to mid rounds. And that long position's been one of those problem points. Do North just sit on the A-bomb site and play it really passively, or do they get aggressive and try to stop it in its tracks before it gets to that site? That's, you know, those are the two obvious choices, and they're going to go 3 towards A-long. So that, and the question now for us is that an over-adjustment? We'll see. We'll see what FURIA decide to do. They're looking like they're going to run their default as per usual. Art and Yuri will come into this 3-man setup towards long. There it is. That's what you want to see. They stop it before it gets going. And FURIA, what is the adjustment for them? They've definitely spotted that there's a setup there. Oh, they're going to run up bathrooms. They know that if they've got a heavy setup towards long, that bathrooms is completely free. What a response from FURIA. So fast up the toilet's position, looking to potentially threaten A, but they don't have to commit to it. Kirby's in the mix there, just betwixt the smokes, and he's found himself some kills. Yugi chiming in as well. Now, FURIA in enormous amounts of trouble. Vinny gets caught off guard as well. Somehow stays alive, but not for too much longer. Valde takes him out, and Keserato is the last man standing here, looking to just do some damage at the very least, but great response from North. They found an answer, but will we see an adjustment from FURIA now? That's the question. Their default got blown up that round. Are we going to get a cheeky B rush or something like that, James? I feel like FURIA are really dangerous now. They've got so many options that we haven't seen yet because A has been working so well until this point.
Yeah, FURIA are really dangerous, full stop. And again, it's just been constantly exploiting that long position. Not always successful, but even if you're not successful, it does instill fear and concern. Just like North conditioned them to do this and that, or not do this and that on Inferno, FURIA are trying to do the same now, late in the game, or really this entire half on Overpass. And again, now FURIA are subject to those Molotovs, but they won't put a smoke up like T sides often do. They don't seem to be too concerned with it. They'll have Able J lurking in the playground just in case. And 4 players in Connector, slowly moving up. And maybe partly because of that Molotov, they don't really have anybody to check the upper ground along with the players coming out of Connector. Hole in the door. Some smokes up, some pop flashes, and they start charging towards the A-bomb site. Kiabi's in for a nasty surprise. He's seen the bomb though. Look at North delivering these kills. Let's not forget, they're just 3 rounds behind at the moment. They could certainly bring this to a third match. 2 versus 4, Keserato drops a smoke, but what can he really do in this situation? As good as he is on Overpass, this is a very tough ask.
I mean, one thing that they have going for them is that there's no AWP in the hands of North. That is really difficult to deal with when you have your low utility and you're low on players. The other thing they have going for them is that they have some time here. I mean, they had a minute at which it was a 4 versus 2. You know, 20 seconds has been burned since then, but time is so important to be able to work around the map, split up the CTs, and keep those questions on for, you know, what exactly they're doing. The CTs won't know specifically, but this is a strong setup. It's such a good position here for Gade. He's safe in so many things. You can't check everything here, and he's going to nail it. Absolutely nails it. 2 kills, finishes off the round, and North have definitely made some solid inroads here into a comeback. But there's still a couple of rounds to pick up, but the money's not there really now for FURIA, so North might have an easy one on their hands here in this next round.
Yep, FURIA are in Eco Town, and it looks like all the shops are closed. Almost all of them. We see some Deagles and P250s being picked up, and a lot of flashbangs, so looks like FURIA will try to take position with these flashbangs and burst. They'll do it somewhere, but Kiabi and Valde going into Connector. Now this could be good, it could be bad. A smoke grenade will certainly help, or will it? They try to burst through it again, abuse these numbers, but the Orbs will abuse FURIA and shut down every plan they had in this round. Keserato left the Deagle to try and do some damage. North being very active, moving around, and there will be no damage done. That's a very important round win for North in the fashion in which they did it. They give themselves a full buy in the hole, and late in the game on the CT side, that is very, very important.
So the buy is going to be coming in again for FURIA. No AWP will be available, but what are the options here that they're going to go, be going for? You know, their default has been pretty effective most of the time. North had an adjustment to A-long to kind of shut it down, but since that point, North have been going back to normal setups. So time on here from FURIA to work out exactly how to answer that question. And they definitely want to make this a 2-0 series. You don't want to stay in a prolonged best of 3 against North. Could this be the moment? for FURIA. We'll have to find out as the round is on. And what are we going to find from them? Do we get another default? It's looking like it. It's a variation, only one player going towards the playgrounds and potentially, you know, looking to figure out what's going on towards long. 2 players in connector, 2 towards monster, the bomb's down. So looking to get control over Suez here. It's not worked out. AZ, beautiful kill there. He takes some damage for it, but they're going to be very happy. There is not much utility here for FURIA, so the options for them starts to become quite limited.
Minute 15. FURIA somewhat handicapped at the moment. Kiabi has moved to a deep position on long, a common 2-man setup, which can be isolated with a smoke grenade down long. We've seen it on Overpass so far in this tournament here in London. But FURIA don't seem positioned for that just yet, although AbleJ is making inroads towards that long position. So we shall see. He'll need a second man if he wants to deal with this properly himself. He'll just simply wide swing, and that's not quite going to work out for him. 3 men of FURIA moving up towards the A site. Now the flashes have come and gone. And Yugi will deliver a kill. That's the headshot. That's the bomb. He's got a crossfire with his teammates as well. He can hold his teammates back. Oh, he unscripts at the wrong time. Stereo frag for FURIA. What the hell is going on? Suddenly it's a 1 versus 2 for Yuri. He's got a sound cue, so he sees the trajectory. He knows where Gade is, roughly one of the 2 players remaining. He's looking for the frags. They're just charging in 1 by 1. And now it's 1v1. They could play the bomb, but they chose to try and play timing instead. And now it's just Gade to try and defend this.
Yuri creeping forwards. Oh, he's nailed it. He's absolutely nailed it. 4 kills. The clutch, it never seemed in doubt from Yuri's perspective. But that push, James, as you said, they go in before the bomb's going down.
It looked bizarre. It looks like they were convinced he was by Optimus, the way AZ was going up the stairs like that. Look at the time on the clock. Yuri has to plant the bomb. It's almost guaranteed you can take some kind of position, even if he's faking and drawing his gun back out. But that charge gave them he gave him a free 1v1 with Gade, who doesn't have position, and that could cost North everything.
Yeah, that is huge.
Again, we spoke about the money for North that they had. They are able to go for another full buy, and they've done that. There is a tactical timeout from FURIA, which has come and gone, and now the countdown continues. FURIA pulling out some Mac 10s.
they love it, James. They love the Mac 10s, don't they?
Yeah. There are 3 helmets for North, so those Mac 10s might not be as effective as they are expecting. Perhaps they're expecting some kind of eco, I don't know. But it is not. It is a very, very strong buy for North. 4 orgs, an AWP, Valde and Kiabi moving into connector. They'll, not sure if they dropped a smoke in connector, but they will be looking towards that short B position. But there's no presence towards B just yet.
Yeah, it's actually pretty curious, the Mac 10s, but I've seen them so many times, put them to good use. And they are really good at taking positions quickly, being the first players into bomb sites or whatever it might be that you're trying to, whatever part of the map you're trying to take over. So if you're playing it slow to begin with, making sure that North are not doing anything too crazy early on. And sometimes it's really good just to slow the pace right down at the beginning of the rounds. See if you can kind of throw off your opponent. North are just trying to play this as safe as they possibly can. Yugi now starting to ask questions, and this could be such a pivotal moment. If Yugi can get a kill and get away here, that would be huge for North.
That timing might just work out for him. It looks like FURIA was setting something up. FURIA with 3 flashbangs. Vinny's moved very forward. He's expected. He knows someone's going to be here. He manages to avoid the shot, but he can't avoid the second one. Now Yugi gets a chance at another 1 versus 1. A jumping attempt from AbleJ, and he can do nothing to stop Yugi. Looking for some more flicks now. Battle sniper mode has been activated. 5 versus 3. Look at the time on the clock. 20 seconds, and he delivers another one. This is exactly the round that North need. They lose no one. They build some more bank, and they're just 1 round behind.
Great stuff from Yugi there. That was such an important position, and you can see he whiffs that first shot, but he stays focused. That first whiff doesn't compound into any more problems. He just corrects. That was a great peek to bait the shot as well. Vinny tries to follow it up, but he's not quite quick enough, and AbleJ is just a little bit too far behind him as well in the trade. So And now Furia's money is broken. They need one save round, which should have us at 14-14 before Furia are going to be fighting back. This one is going all the way on Overpass at the very least. AZ will gun down Art as they just try to run in towards the B-bomb site, and they're not really getting all that much done here, as expected. One kill for Queserato. Only with a deagle shot. He's dangerous. He's definitely not checking his right, though. And there it is. 14-14, North pick it up, and I have no idea what to expect here. Furia have been certainly favoring the A side of the map pretty heavily so far on their T side, though.
Yeah, but look at the recent rounds. North have won 5 of the last 6 rounds. Momentum is firmly in their favor, although it is very, very tense. One error at this point could cost North everything, or it could cost Furia Overpass. Really tight stuff. You can see the money's not spectacular for either team, but it's definitely favored for North. They've got a buy for both rounds, essentially. The same cannot be said for Furia. Not a full buy, at least. Yugi tempted to go for a tight one. Quick shot. Takes a pot shot as the smoke goes up. He knows all he can do is take a shot there, and he has to fall back, although he doesn't know if it's safe just yet. Furia moving into a potential split of the B-bomb site. AZ's been taken down already towards the short B area. A smoke's up for Gade, which may cut the site in half if Furia continue to push.
What a huge wallbang from Queserato. That could make an enormous difference here, weakening the defense, forcing the rotation. Furia have not gone to be too much, but here in the most important moments in this matchup on Overpass, it could work out for them. Kirby desperately tries to defend here. He's doing a great job so far. 3 versus 3 as Furia are yet to have a bomb plant. The smoke's up, time is ticking. When that smoke goes away, getting the bomb down will be very difficult indeed. They've got to speed things up here. Trying to pursue Kirby. They finally get it. It's down to Yuki now as he looks for the remainder of Furia. Art and Vinny left alive here, but they need to plant the bomb, and Yugi knows it.
Yeah, they're going for the elimination though, I think. We've got Art coming out with 2 HP. Has Yuki been spotted at all? I think he's just missed him. Now they know where he is. 1 versus 1. Vinny will deliver the kill, and it's match point for Furia.
They're so close now, James, but North have all the money in the world here to get the best kind of buy they could possibly ask for to make this competitive, to have a fighting chance and force it to overtime, keep themselves alive in this series. But it's going to be so difficult. Furia, it feels like they have so many options that work for them. They have all the confidence. They never really seem to be all that fazed by the pressure. And North, they've been playing very, very passively. They've been playing reactive Counter-Strike so far against Furia for the most part. And that's a scary place to find yourself, James. When you're never taking the initiative, it's always the other team that's taking initiative. That's one of the reasons why Overpass is such a fun map for a lot of teams. Unlike many maps, you can take the initiative in many ways on the CT side, but North, they've not been doing it all that much.
Very nice buy for North. Again, such an important round they had earlier on to allow them to be in this position at the very least. Weapon-wise, they don't want to be in this position in terms of match point, but here we are. Again, Furia with 2 Mac 10s, and North have 3 helmets on the 5 players. A familiar story in that respect. Yugi up top. That's a long-range weapon taken out. They might go try and pick it up, and in fact, they will be able to. I thought if it was a bit deeper, then may have cost him a second player, but they will be cost a second player. Some aggression towards B in case Rato's taken out outside the monster position. And you do start to wonder if overtime is on the cards here. The remainder of Furia pick up the weapons on the floor, no more Mac 10s. Now, if they push B, they would be in a 3 versus 2 situation for the time being, but North are being active in terms of their rotation, and Valde's gone to join his teammates in the lower area. Gade and AZ quietly falling back to a more defensive position. Well timed from Molotov. I don't know if they've got the sound cues, but now all the information is known.
Yep, and they've got to hit the shots. Not an easy task in a 2 versus 5, but Yuri will make it a 2 versus 4. But the trade comes in. Now down to Abel to do it all. It's going to be very tough, though. There's an AWP in action, and there it is. Overtime has been secured. North, they've managed to bring it back here against Furia, but I still feel like Furia are quite favored, James. I still feel like if this goes the distance, we see multiple overtimes, I feel like they're going to pull ahead. Their T side just feels more reliable.
I think their strat book is deeper. I think that is the key. And rightfully so. Thank you very much, London. All right, 3 rounds a half, $10,000 per player if North have a bad start to the CT side, they're probably going to have a really bad finish. So it's important to either win the round early or at least be able to save something. They will have the 1 AWP on Yugi, so a normal start for the CTs. No snipers for FURIA. 3 Kriegs and the 2 AK-47s. North with a 3-man play towards long. Again, maybe expecting more exploitation attempts from FURIA in that respect, but FURIA's game is changing, it's evolving.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the kind of conditioning we were talking about. The the aggression, the most risky setup we see from North is a direct response to that default that FURIA run where they have 2 people running up A long. But FURIA, as you say, they've been adjusting. They've started to only send 1 person in their defaults towards long, which gives them more chances elsewhere. And that boost is converted on brilliantly. But speaking of conversions, AZ takes the opportunity to go and play forwards and take advantage. And he's done a fantastic job. A fadeaway frag. Valley assists as well for another one to trade him out. And that's an advantage for North. The bomb will go down, though, behind the cover of smoke. And Kirby catches Vinny. There is no place to hide here from North. FURIA not having quite the success on B as they were on A previously on their T side.
Yeah, maybe some redemption for North after that push on the A bomb site earlier, which kind of helped get them into this place in the first place, or gave FURIA a path towards match points. But here we are. So far, so good for North. A very important first round to win. That's a sigh of relief. Takes a little pressure off the CT side. Can be brittle with 10K, but they will hold strong for the time being. Second round, and now FURIA have picked up the AWP, so it looks like it will be a very different change in approach from them, keeping North guessing. We've got the Molotov from North to start things off, but again, most people will throw smoke into that. They will choose to keep vision open and just run past it and take a little damage instead. Flashbangs into that short B position, and Yugi is holding an angle there. Kirby in connector, might be good for it. He is indeed looking hot in the late game here on Overpass.
Yeah, Kirby's having a fantastic tournament. Every time we switch to his pod this tournament, it just feels like he's going to get the kill he's after. He's looking really sharp, and he's going to be holding down connector. They know he's here, and they're going to try to attack him. They do trade Kirby out, so it's a 3 versus 4. And again, on Overpass, there's so much space to work with that that's actually a pretty decent spot to be in for FURIA. But that's the problem. Valde lurking around the bathrooms, and that's such a forward position. He can offer a backstab. He offers so much information for North as well. K-Serato has to land this flick. He spotted him. Kirby can, K-Serato, can he manage to make it work against Valde? Valde actually gets out of there. And that is such a problem. The threat that Valde presents is just too much.
I don't know how he found that angle, but he did. And North seemed to be growing with power, turning into gods of war on Overpass. That's 2 from 2. No bomb plants, I don't think, for FURIA. Maybe the first one was a bomb plant. Okay, so they do have a little extra money. They'll be okay, but they can't go 0-3. That is less than ideal.
Yeah, and we're starting to see some really big plays from the individuals of North. In that round, it was Kirby. Really awesome play by himself in connector. Gets 2 kills, gets the information, forces FURIA to try to respond, to deal with him, and in that moment, North can move in. Valde takes forward position, they close down the round. Previous to that, AZ makes 2K, like really awesome reactive play. No! And so North's individuals are stepping up here, and that's making a huge difference.
They look pretty calm as well and relaxed, which is really important. Not an easy task in a situation such as this. You were facing match point, you're in overtime, just to keep the fight alive. Nice pop flash into short B, they see nothing. Does that put a third player? Yeah, instantly Valde's rotating towards A after that peek from AZ, and he falls back towards the B bomb site. Will it come in time? We see a burst from FURIA out of connector, and Valde's on the A side. He's got some grenades up his teammates. Battle sniper mode again for Yugi, and Valde is here. So again, that information play has really helped them have a stronghold on the A bomb site, and FURIA are getting deleted now. A taste of their own medicine. There's almost nothing Able J can do. We are asking a lot of him. A proactive play from North, a page from FURIA's book, is putting them in a very strong position for a third match. And there we go, a clean sheet, 3 for 3 in the first half. And they move to the T side now.
Yeah, you've got to hand it to North. They are playing really well here around the bathrooms, and it's so critical. Again, you don't want to allow FURIA to just get up onto the the Bathroom's position, the A-long position, just run a set piece. You've got to stop them before that point, and that's what North have been doing, and very successfully. I mean, you got to love it, like just the adjustments over time. And now FURIA have to do the same thing. FURIA had a really good CT half. If you consider when they started to get money into their hands, it looked quite consistent. And they were playing really passive. So I'm really curious how their adjustments might look, or North's adjustments might look. North just need one round. That's all they need, James. And they can force us to a third map, keep themselves in this series.
Art looking for something, but being given nothing. So while FURIA didn't bother to smoke the Molotov, North most certainly will. Again, that will slow the approach. I think maybe we'll see a flash from Kiabi towards the party position. People that aren't consistent with their approach in retaking party, you don't want to be predictable because people just avoid the flashbang. So you'll see a difference. Sometimes it'll be a flash, sometimes it'll just be loads of T players moving through. Art now has gone towards that long position. He's in the toilet, so it can be a little dynamic. He's pretty deep alone, so oh boy, that walking through the smoke with the bomb, maybe not the best idea. And now there is a re-smoke, and we've got Yuri moving up the long position. Surely there'll be a focus towards toilets, but he's not going to win that range, but he'll take Yugi out. This may be a gifted round, but there's still time to recover from North.
Yeah, that's a huge frag from Gade. He's going to create some space towards that A-bomb site and offer up a flank potential towards A-long. The bomb is still lost in the bathrooms, and there's so many spots to worry about. Gade can't worry about everything, and he'll get taken down from the side. As you can see, Art's in position here with that AK-47 in hand now. He's dropped the AWP. He wants to be a bit more dynamic in case a trade situation is set up by the opponents, and it's all about these angles, all about the timing, and Abel J has just a better position there. AZ will finally pick the bomb back up, but he can't win the battle against Art. What a round from Art. He's having quite the game.
That's a disaster for North. After walking through a smoke with the bomb isn't picked up until there are 20 seconds left in the round. So I do think that was somewhat of a gift to FURIA, and they will take that in kind. 2 more rounds for FURIA to bring it to a second overtime. Plenty of money for North, obviously, to try and take this to nuke. They only need to win 1 round, so if they could fail miserably in one, as long as they win the other one, it's not a big deal. FURIA, very, very forward positions towards the A-bomb site, but North looked to rush towards B. That grenade didn't quite hit the mark there, and they're in a lot of trouble, FURIA, I think. Charging through the smokes, Vinny is in a really bad position. Kiabi's, though, is going to be the first one to get dropped by Kesarato. Abel's gone, oh, again through the smoke with the bomb. Another disaster for the T side, but this is very fast-moving round. They're really low. 2 versus 2 now. Aren't moving through with the AWP. Yuri will make it just 1. Gade on his own by the barrels. They don't know where he is just yet. Now they do. And that's another round for FURIA.
Another round where AZ just does the unimaginable, a Herculean effort from him, trying to save that one, that 3K out of nowhere. But it's still not enough here for North. They need just 1 round, but they can't seem to find it. They go for the play on to B, the fast B round. Doesn't work. What are they going to go for now? They tried A, they tried B.
C.
It took me a second there to
were you looking on the map for C, Dan?
Yeah, I was looking on the map. I was like, what is he talking about?
All right, somebody tweet down the C. Yugi's down to a Desert Eagle now, no more AWP for him. There are 4 AKs on the rest of the team. They've got a reasonable level of grenades. They can do something with this. It could be a hell of a lot worse. They will, of course, try to abuse the numbers, as T's often will, can and should. 3 players wait on the B bomb site for a push. Smoke towards Monster. Does it double nades towards Barrel? Well, Abel J's in a different position. It's very important to change your formation. If FURIA have done that, and they will avoid all those grenades. And that tells them how many players might be in that short B position.
That was 3 as well. That's the triple nade. I want to make sure he's really dead, but as you say, it must feel pretty good to be him in that position and just be not in the spot where all the nades land. Must feel pretty good.
Satisfied.
But you can see that there's limited utility left on North now. All the remainder of the utility needs to be used to get them onto a bomb site. Kirby offering some pressure towards A. He will be spotted by Art, who looks towards long. So not going to see anything here. So they probably understand that this is going to be a B round from North, as Kirby tries to lurk towards the A bomb site still, and there it is. Push comes in. It's just one here in favor of FURIA. Serato, he manages to make it work for 2, and that's just enough there to allow Yuri to get into the mix as well. Now it's up to Kirby to save the day for North. Can he find his way into this one? No, he can't. Overtime 2 is where we'll be headed in a moment.
The timing was really, really interesting towards the A site. Kirby, you saw Art with the AWP. Art missed his shot. He fell back towards long. And based on how I saw Kirby moving on a radar, I felt like they had a read that the B bomb site was bolstered, and I saw him charging towards A, and I thought they'd try and pull rotation, but he threw some grenades in front of the smoke on the A bomb site, and then rotated back to connector. But his 2 teammates with the bomb were already kind of through monster. So I think there was some time. If they wanted to pull people towards A, I think they had a few more seconds to try and do something. So I don't know if they were fully committed to that play, but here we are. Overtime number 2. We've got an AWP on both sides. Everything is normal. The AKs, the AUGs, and so on. All the signature stuff. Now we've got Mollies towards the playground, trying to delay North even more. 3 game points for North have come and gone. But again, there's time for regret later. It's time to focus on the now. Art creeping with the AWP. Has he got time to fall back? Will he be traded? North don't know what lies in these toilets, especially with FURIA. You've got to respect them. But Yuri will get taken out. They know that Art's still there somewhere. Not baited just yet, and that's the bomb once again.
How many more can he get? He's stuck in this position. Gate is waiting for him to emerge from the other side. This is looking pretty grim here. Art forced borders with it. Oh, he hits another one. That is fantastic. Swaps out for the AK-47. You can't ask for any more from Art. He is an absolute superstar for FURIA, and AZ is left in the clutch. And honestly, he's been fantastic so far, but it's a lot to ask for AZ. And he's going to complete the ace. That is so phenomenal from him. Ice cold stuff from Art. You love to see it.
He's so awesome to watch. That's why I picked him for premium pass earlier on. Just stylistically, he is explosive, beautiful stuff. The decision making, he knows they're trying to flush him out, so he'll go deeper inside and deliver the kill instead. Beautiful stuff. Great flick from him onto Kirby. The switch out makes himself nimble with the AK-47. The decision making, pretty damn fast and pretty damn effective. A timeout has been called. FURIA in the lead now. Again, North had 3 game points. They came and went. They lost the bomb multiple times. They continue to do so, but they've got to keep their heads in the game.
Both teams seem to be on the struggle bus now at this point on the T side. So it's really interesting to try to figure out what the responses are for both teams in adjusting to these issues that they're both finding on these T sides. It's suddenly become really difficult to win any rounds, and things often get a little bit weird in overtimes because you you haven't necessarily exhausted your entire playbook, but I don't know. It's a hard one to explain, but picking your approach in overtimes can be difficult. And Vinny, he's got a fantastic result there off that boost. What is this? FURIA just decimating North. North trying to play slower towards B, but FURIA with all the right maneuvers to catch them off guard. And this round looks kind of free at the moment. And it's just Kirby and Yugi remaining. Kirby will find one towards the bathrooms. He has the bomb as well. He's actually picking up the AWP. Actually, a really smart choice because a jump peek here is fairly likely. Can he find it though? Will there be one? Yes, there it is. Oh, that's the opportunity. Come and gone. He knows it. Back onto the AK for him.
Looking really difficult now for North. How do they get back into this? If they can pick the right timing, then at least they have a 2 versus 2. We've got Vinny waiting in the B-bomb site. Able J on the high ground. No AWPs for either team at this point. 25 seconds, and surely FURIA will start to wonder. Again, we've got a crab walk into the B-bomb site. This time we don't have the angles we had before. Vinny unlucky not to get a headshot in that situation, but they've got to find a frag soon. Nice burst from Yugi. They know someone's at the back. Again, they've got bomb plant pressure, but Yuri's here to save the day. The bomb's on the floor now, and Yugi's alone by that pillar. 8 seconds. What does he do, really? We've got Vinny with his knife out in the smoke grenades. Liberties being taken by FURIA as they move into a stronger position.
All right, so again, just can't seem to find a way to win any of these T rounds. Here's the boost. Nate to blow open the door, and oh wow, that second kill. So I don't even know how he gets that one. Doesn't look like there's enough time to connect all the bullets. But he must have like got a headshot or something. Either way, FURIA with 2 rounds back to back. North with their last chance to pick up a round on the T side, and UMP makes an appearance onto Yugi. But otherwise, things don't look too bad here for North Spy. And we actually see a slightly more aggressive approach from FURIA. And let's not forget, they've generally been playing a passive CT side. It's been working out against the likes of North. And there's a pick onto Gade. That's an upgrade for Yugi, at least, on the AK. Onto the AK, I should say. And oh, he's been a monster from this position. He gets another one. It's 2 kills for Art, lots of information. Now Yuri lurks around the bathrooms as well. North make their way up towards A.
North have got to get something from this half. They have to. They must. But what they'll get is bullets from DAY3. We've got stats padding from FURIA. The 180's attempted. Not quite there, though. Yugi has a few seconds to plant this bomb. He needs to plant the bomb. He must take position. There's already a flank activated. He's got to be careful about how he chooses to move. Going between the smoke and Optimus. Will he have the right timing? Abel J heading towards the bank. Vinny moving towards the toilets. Yugi's got to guess. He's got to be brave. Going down the stairs now. Does he read that there's a potential player in bank already? You can see Abel J's looking for it. He's got to be careful. He is. He's put Jay onto 35. The bomb's been touched. He's a non-believer though, Yugi. It is pretty ticked as well. He's going to drop some flashbangs. He won't find an angle for the Molotov. Vinny trying to force him away. He loses his duel though. He's got to go for the smoke. He's obviously going to find. He's running out of bullets. Down to the Glock. Oh no! Didn't have the bullet for it, and it is 3 from 3 for FURIA. 3 match points.
All right, so North put FURIA in this position, and now North find themselves in that very position. Finding their way back on the CT side. No mistakes can be made. What? This is just ridiculous. So intense. You got to give it to Yugi, though. It was such a good effort. Very unfortunate, but here we are. And the struggle on the T sides continue, and that 1 round could have made all the difference. Instead, now it's just FURIA. And they got to be feeling good about this one. 3 Kriegs, an AWP onto Art. All the toys are out. See a quick connector take coming in from FURIA as Queserato makes his way through into the short position. Su is occupied. They're going to get Art into a fragging position. The entry factor is going to be missed there. Beautiful timing from the flashbang.
I don't know if Queserato would have come up on the radar at the very least. It was a pretty tight angle. More damage being done, and now they know somebody's there for sure. Got the flashbang, normally which is bounced off the light to go towards Divider to take this angle away. Yugi will fall back. They have advantages. They've got the 5 versus 4. There are good stats for conversion in the 5v4 for pretty much every team. Kirby is being proactive again. You've got to be versus FURIA, otherwise they have too many advantages. And Queserato's picked up the bomb just in time, taking it away from this flanking position. Not that he knows about it. And he will join his teammates towards the A site. Now, with the flank, they don't really know what the situation is around toilets or B. And there are 3 players towards B for North and just the 1 on A in Yugi.
Good flashbang. He gets stuck on the APC there just for a moment. Can he get out of dodge in time? He manages to do so. But he can't really do too much from this position to stop it, although, as I said, he does find a kill onto Vinny. Bomb is down, though. 2 versus 5. This looks very difficult for FURIA. Can they find a way to win this one? Of course, again, they just need to win that 1 round, and they've done it. They will be taking down North, and they'll have a place in the finals, but it's down to Queserato against 5 players with a Krieg in hand. He gets 1. The rest are quite active, but there's surely too many players, and he does some damage, but inevitably, North pick up the defuse, and that's 1. Just 2 more to go, James. They just, you know, can't make a single mistake.
Yeah, short delay while North set up for a double peek at the very least, as respecting how dangerous Queserato is. You could see him scanning there, looking for the next target. They need 2 more rounds North. Flashbang came just in time, it seems. North need to pray that these Augs deliver for them. 4 Augs and 4 Kriegs. You love to see it, but you don't like to be a victim of it. Who's going to be victimized in this round? We've got the smokes early towards the toilets position, the first position. I'm sure one towards Divider will come later. Very forward smoke outside the monster tunnel. Molly's towards short B. All the usual stuff. FURIA deep in connector. Again, they've moved away from the fast plays up long that we saw earlier on. The game has evolved between these two quite a lot since the beginning. Boost will be attempted. This boost is good because you just need to jump on the player while he's standing, so you don't need to jump afterwards and expose yourself. That's part of why it's so powerful.
Minute to go. And you can see that North have really figured out what's going on here. Kirby pushing in towards the connector. Again, he's been so solid, Kirby. Such a steady pair of hands so far here for North, and he's locked down that flank position. That threat is pretty huge. FURIA are forced to go in towards B at this point. They can't really do much else. Kirby's actually going for the big rotation around to the monster flank, but there's actually no one there. They're going to go back into connector where Kirby was last spotted, but he's actually voided this position, which gives FURIA a chance to go up towards the A bomb side, at least threaten that they can go towards A with the bomb. And in fact, they're going to try to sell this by Yuri trying to take a frag towards the B bomb side. He'll be unsuccessful, but it's a 2 versus 5 with 20 seconds to go. Surely FURIA, how can they do this? This is going to be so impossibly hard here. It's already a setup in place. The AWP is there for Yugi. He misses the shot. In case you're asked, he's forced to go for the plant, but he is alone, and he is dead.
Are North really doing this? Can they bring this back once again? There are going to be problems with the buy here for FURIA. Art's got 2100s, and it's the Mac 10s once again, although it seems he's dropped one for somebody else, and he may be gifted a better weapon. You wouldn't think it. North were in such a horrible position, but here we are. Just one round to take it to another overtime. But that is a lot of pressure for North. Again, they've got a better buy. We've got 4 Kriegs, and Vinny will take the Mac 10.
This is a buy that you'd only really see from FURIA, like 4 Kriegs and a Mac 10. It's such a strange sight. But they are the team that can make it work. Get 2 players set up there on A long, and again, let's not forget how favored A long was in the defaults of FURIA earlier on, but they've since abandoned that. We're going to see FURIA making their way up bathrooms really quickly. That pace is blinding here, and North are kind of out of position for this, James.
Yeah, Vlade's got to fall back, but at the same time, he's got to try and help his teammates move back into the site from long. They're all separated. Yugi was a very tough ask, but he'll deliver with the deagle. Now he can post up. There's still not a crossfire just yet. There's a gap in the smoke, though, but there's no trade. This could be the round. Man advantage for FURIA. They've got a chance to try and plant the bomb. They don't really have many grenades, but look at Kirby's flanking position. He can't stop the bomb plant. It's on Optimus, which is really smart from FURIA, but he can quickly start to deliver some frags. Now he's being a threat, but it's a 2 versus 3. There's a flank on the flank, and it's easy to try and save the day versus FURIA. 1 versus 3. Do they know where he's coming from? He has been firing some bullets in this game so far. There's the first 1v1. Hasn't spotted a player towards long. He's got a defuse kit. He's got to find another 1v1, and he's got to find it quickly. Looking for it, but Able J will deliver it, and FURIA move on to the finals.
What an incredible performance from them, James. It's so difficult to understand how they managed to become such a solid, well-rounded team that can deliver on a stage such as this in positions with so much pressure on them. They were in the North's position just before this in an overtime where they'd lost 3 rounds in a row, couldn't make a single mistake, but they run it back 3 rounds at 1, and they outlast North. Incredible stuff.
Yeah, FURIA continue to rise, and the tattoo parlors are on notice because someone's going to be getting some ink soon. Really awesome stuff from them. It's so great to see how they play their T sides. I mean, credit to North as well, going back to Inferno and how they adjusted on both maps and tried to stop FURIA from playing their game, but how FURIA, they could see weakness and tried to exploit it. They conditioned them to defend in one place and then started to move over to another. It was really entertaining. So many overtimes. There was absolute carnage, some great individual plays, aces, 30 bombs. I think there might have been a 40 bomb in that game. Just absolutely crazy stuff from start to finish.
Yeah, it's so cool to see again how FURIA, they're not just a flash in the pan, James. They've been working hard. They have pretty much everything you could want in a team. And the best thing for me is that they have so much personality and so much passion, and they push the envelope too. They are innovating
Yeah.
They do
They've got their own
stuff, they
style.
create stuff that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, and they love themselves some Kriegs, which is also fantastic to see. A great team to watch, continuing to move up the ranks. I was looking for it before the tournament, but I think they've surpassed my expectations going this deep with some of the names in the tournament. And now it's over to Sue on the stage with FURIA.
Thank you very much, James. Congratulations, Art. What an inspirational performance from FURIA. You guys are moving forward to the grand finals. When I spoke to you yesterday, you told me that if you guys worked hard, the results would speak for themselves, and so they have. Top 4 at Dallas last week, grand finals today. Phenomenal performance.
It's been an amazing run for us. It's amazing to be in the finals. This crowd is amazing as well. I can hear them screaming inside the game. Thank you, thank you. I have no words.
Yesterday, we saw you guys have a phenomenal performance against Astralis on Mirage. You even said that it's a map that you guys like to play, but today you guys chose Inferno. What was the reasoning for that?
I watched the Inferno earlier today, and I saw they had very little control in Banana, and I thought that was something I could exploit, so we just do it, and it worked.
And you've said that you prefer playing against a structured play style. North has more of a hybrid play style where they can do both loose and structured. So speaking for yourself, what was it like to play against them?
I think they play very structured. They were playing very slow. Even Overpass, I did not feel much pressure at all. So I don't know, they play very slow. I said before, it's good for us.
You said you didn't feel much pressure on Overpass, but it was such a close game, going all the way to double overtime. So talk a little bit about that game and break it down for us.
Pressure in the meaning of like nothing pushing us very fast, but pressure I felt, of course. It was a very tough game. We had a rough start on the first overtime. It was really rough, 0-3. But I don't know, the guys managed to keep their heads cool, and we managed to come back.
Now you're just one best of 3 from becoming champions. It's going to be either NRG or Vitality. Both are a rematch. You have a chance to take revenge against NRG from the loss yesterday, or Vitality, who you played last week in the quarterfinals and defeated 2-0. So which do you think is going to be a more exciting grand finals?
I think both are going to be great. I don't know, maybe Energy because it's a comeback. Like a rematch because we lost before, but it's going to be a hard game and very cool.
Sounds great. Congratulations once again. And with that, FURIA is moving forward to the grand finals here in London. We are going to be right back. When we come back, the second semifinals will be underway. Stay tuned.
Introducing the ECS Premium Pass. The unique viewing experience allows you to get further into the action. It enables you to focus on any player within the game and even the ECS official observer. Subscribers will have access to interactive HUDs, detailed statistics on all players, and an improved minimap, and much more. All Faceit TV Twitch subscribers will receive full access to 11 additional streams for the ultimate CS viewing experience. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe now for only $4.99 and watch CS the way you want to.
Darling, you're honestly home. Feed me. I know I wanted you home. If it's true, I can take it over. Only the places you're not supposed to go. Free me. It's all in the waste and the want. If it's true, I can sing it all back. Ooh, my love, you're patient and wasted alone. And I know that they pray to take you on and pick at your bones. Oh my, I know it's a lot. Completely giving yourself to the want. If it's true, I can take it over. Only I find myself tied to the knot. Ever so slightly, you're like me in only the thought. If it's true, I can see it all. Bring it all back to you. 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 Bring it all back to you.
Cuando yo te vi, sentí que eras para mí. Te quiero descubrir y yo no quiero compartir. Tus ojos brillan fuera de tu control. Cuando yo te vi, sentí que eras para mí.
Another Danish side have become the victims of FURIA, and this time it was North who have been cast aside by the Brazilians as we see them heading to our grand final. And what a game that was, gentlemen.
Bloody impressive resume, really, when you look at FURIA in 2019. I was just having a look back at their results this year alone, right? This game, obviously, we'll get to that, but they came second in the Americas Minor. They went over to the Katowice Major. That's one of the first big events that they played in. They played in DreamHack Rio. They came second there. They qualified for DreamHack Masters. Then they went and came top 4 at the actual event. For ESL1 Cologne, they had to play through the the open qualifier, then the closed qualifier, and now they're going to be playing at Cologne. And now here they're in the grand final of ECS. It's absolutely insane how much they've managed to accomplish in this short part of the year already.
Yeah, I think that is what is crazy, is the pace at which they have improved. Because surely a few months ago you would say, FURIA, yeah, they're a dangerous team, right? They have some skill player, but that was it. That was the end of the sentence. You wouldn't give it any other thought. And here, at this event, and also the last week, they've been proving that they have depth in the roster. They have maps that they can play, many different maps, specialist type map. They have the passion, they have the emotions, they have the skill. They have everything. I'm sold.
They do, and I mean, every single player has been stepping up when they've needed to step up, right? We've seen different players coming in top fragging in different maps. I mean, Art here, hitting 41 kills on this map. That was insane.
Especially Art here, right? The amount of responsibility that he gives to himself, or that he takes on for himself as an in-game leader. He's holding parts of the map on his own. We saw him do it on Inferno with Banana. Here he's been able to do it in the bathroom section of the map on the CT side. And he's been making plays as well. It hasn't just been about information on this time round. It's about him having a huge influence and a huge amount of impact. And I love the fact that he's like, yeah, you know, Inferno, I watched their game, I saw a thing I could exploit, and we did it. And he, you know, got away with that game plan. So I think he's, you know, the second coming of Brazilian Counter-Strike. I think Art could maybe take on that responsibility.
Well, yeah, and I mean, he looks so calm, right? I mean, me and Sue were just talking about it backstage, and it was like, you can kind of see the resemblance to Fallen, right? Yeah. You can see, it seems like the same story,
right? Got the beard going on.
Exactly, yeah, I mean, physical, but also in the game, right?
All being in-game leading, yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I think that he was a massive impact in this game here, but North, they gave them a couple of chances, a couple of open doors, and that way there was 2 clutch scenarios that I think we're going to get to later in the piece here, but they were almost gifted, right? They were almost gifted, those clutch scenarios. They weren't played very well by North. I thought North's T side was very lacking, just pack rolly. They weren't really, you know, showing anything that they should have remembered from MSL as their in-game leader of the past. Didn't feel like once they did a default for map territory to try and, you know, punish the individuals of FURIA going for solo plays.
No, I agree. I mean, I think the T side for North was a problem. When you play against FURIA and you allow them to get away with 9 rounds on their CT side, knowing we had established that that might be the weakness, that they were dangerous on their T side, and I was watching it and thinking, that might be already enough.
Well, yeah, definitely, and we saw them really, really coming out to play. I mean, the second half did look a bit more back and forth, but of course you can see there, that was a victory, and their coach looking absolutely ecstatic. They'll be heading to the grand final. Of course, all those lovely highlights for you brought to you
you by NVIDIA. I mean, there's a lot to break down there. Where do you gentlemen want to start? The floor is open.
I really like the T side from FURIA here. I like Dan mentioned it during the cast, that there was an element of conditioning in the way that they were approaching that long position, exploiting the fact that most teams are playing 2 over towards bathroom/connector, and they were just blistering pace up there. Once they had actually conditioned North, I thought they were just going to go into B rushes, right? Because at that point, when they have to play heavy long, you should be able to exploit that rotation time. But it didn't happen, and that's why I think this game got as close as it could have been. But those clutches, to me, those 2 situations, I think it was a 2v1 on the A bomb side that really sticks on out as a massive blunder for North. They could have taken this one, and we could be on the 3rd map by now, but unfortunately, not to be.
Yeah, it does feel like North had definitely the opportunity winning that map. I mean, you gotta give some credit to Kirby and Yugi. I think these two, they were really fighting hard. Yugi was the equivalent of Art in the bathroom position. He was playing this combat style AWP, always good for multiple kills when he was being tested, and Kirby had that connector lockdown. He was really, really painful for FURIA, but it's gotta be hurting, it's gotta be stinging, but great series are made of clutches that, you know, you just pull your hair out of your head, because it was insane.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, going over into that second half, it was a little bit more back and forth. We saw both teams getting a solid number of rounds in that first half altogether. But it seemed to be a bit more back and forth when North were going onto that CT side. What did you kind of make of that?
It's hard to say. I just cannot shake my mind of FURIA's resilience. Because when you think about it, they had the opportunity to close this second map quite easily. They went to 15 first. Then they go into overtime, they lose 0-3. You have to imagine you must be embarrassed, or not embarrassed, but you must be agitated or maybe angry at that point because you feel you missed that final spot. They lose 0-3, and then they come back round after round. And I was looking at them, and they looked calm. I think they understood the gravitas of the situation. Even when they won the first round, they weren't exploding in the booth. Everyone was very focused. And then once they made it to 18-18, they knew they had done the hardest.
Just to build on that, because in the post-game interview with Sujas, then Art said he felt like 0 pressure. And to elaborate more on the situation, because North were just playing as a unit, right? They were just going as like a wolf pack. They were just strolling around the map together, either contact playing or executing, and they weren't doing a default. Normally when you do a default on your T side, you're smoking bathrooms, you're molotoving off tree, you're pushing back all these angles to force them onto the sites and make them waste utility, and then you're executing. I don't think North even did that once. So there's no issue that they didn't feel any pressure. They had an opportunity. As soon as that execute came in, you knew it was that site. I think only one occasion they tried to hit B, they knew they couldn't get in, went through connector, there was a blunder there, they couldn't get on the bomb site. So North, teething issues with obviously a new in-game leader, their depth in T side was very poor.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you mentioned them earlier, the clutches. We're going to be able to take a look at a couple of them. I believe the first one is Art, our in-game leader, Orpa extraordinaire. We could get
everything.
That. Yeah,
basically
literally,
everything.
Right? That's
AWP,
what's so crazy.
IGL, clutcher, entry fragger,
It's
everything.
mad.
I think this one was offered up to him as well, because there was a overpick here by Yugi when they knew that the last player was, if this is the clutch that I remember, right? Because he was over towards long on his own here. And Yugi's has really no need to go for that fight until the defuse or the other teammate gets close to the bomb to tap it to bait him out into position. Like where the bomb's planted right now, Art had no business getting into this, right? And this one right here is another one. When you see this, right? Okay, so they've done a fantastic job. This is a 3-on-1 situation, but now that you have the 2-on-1, he's not planting, he's not doing anything. Just walk into him, gift him this. They're just giving it to him.
I have to think there was some way of misinformation, miscommunication here. When you see AZ going out of the stairs alone, being so focused on the car position, the track position, there has to be some sort of misinformation here. Maybe he thought he was leaving or planting or something. I cannot explain that choice, rationally speaking. When we see Yuri's point of view, it makes no sense.
No, definitely not. I mean, we're going to see them heading to the grand final, which is probably something that nobody expected to say coming into this tournament. They're either going to be facing Vitality or they're going to be facing NRG. And I feel like they're still going to be picking up a test to either of those guys.
Well, they're going to be the crowd favorite, that's for sure, right? And I think they've shown a lot of depth. That's what's really impressive to me. They've shown a lot of different styles. They've able to make plays. And I was watching it, and it felt like I was watching like Chinese Counter-Strike with both teams in that first half. Because the way, when I played against them, was they'd just swarm and it'd be all over you consistently. And I felt a similar thing coming out from the Brazilians, right? Whenever an attack came in, they were everywhere. You're trying to enter into a bomb site, you get slowed down, you're already getting flanked, you can't turn around, you can't stop. So that's a very difficult thing to deal with.
Well, I mean, we've been delving into these FURIA highlights, and we're going to give you one more in our HyperX X Factor of the match. And this time, it is from K-Serato. I think you know which one this is. It is the pistol ace from the first map, which was just, I mean, kicking their series off in a bang, right?
Well, it's good when you're the pick guy there in front who's getting baited for and you don't actually have to do anything, because you're normally waiting for K-Serato to die so you can step out. But if he just kills them all, you can just...
That works.
Yeah, it's an easy day at the office, I guess.
Yeah.
That is a comfortable position to be in, yes. I mean, Kisserado, that also speaks to the depth of that roster. Kisserado was quiet on Overpass, but still had an insane Inferno. So when you have players that can bounce back and gradually show up in maps and maps, that gives you consistency, because, you know, everyone can do it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what's so scary, right? Because what do you focus on as the opposite team, right? Who do you focus on shutting down?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is quelling their pace. If you can slow down their pace, if you can use utility very early to force them from having to actually play into your type of game or change their play style. So far, what we've seen, especially in this semi-final, was them consistently getting away with their game plan. They were doing their game plan throughout. They didn't ever have to change it up. And that's something that either Vitality or the likes of NRG are going to have to do, is force them to feel a little bit uncomfortable.
Well, we're going to take a look at the group bracket after that result to see where that leaves us during the day. Obviously, we're going to be delving into NRG versus Vitality later today, but FURIA secured their place to the grand final tomorrow. They've competed in every single day of ECS here at Season 7, which is absolutely insane, and props to them, right?
Yeah, well, you asked us if they can do it. I said it yesterday. To me, as soon as they went out of the group stage and the face that they'd shown against Astralis, they became my #1 favorite for the tournament. That's it. I think they have shown enough. They have shown diversity in the map they can play. I think they were able to come back into games. They were not only able to snowball, that's what I thought at the beginning of this tournament, but they can show resilience. They can actually come back into games. They have the skill, the tactics, they have the emotion. They are probably on a fairy tale session right now. That might be it. Maybe this is not just the average level of FURIA, but I think the wave they're riding right now, they're my favorite for the tournament.
Yeah, there's no doubt they have lightning in the bottle the last couple of weeks, and they're riding with that. I think when you look at NRG and Vitality, we need to see if NRG can have the same performance that they had when they were playing on the Thursday, right? Because that was fantastic individual performance across the board from them. So if they have that rematch, they've already beaten them, you put a bit more stock in them. Vitality, obviously, they won Summit not long ago, pretty decent-ish performance. They lost to FURIA over in... Oh, there's lots of storylines for the final. So either way, we've got something, right? So we've got something to talk about. But yeah, FURIA are looking hot to trot.
Yeah, well, exactly. And obviously, we have our second best of 3 happening after, well, in actually a few minutes. We are literally just about to get into it. But before we do that, obviously, we're going to be having our caffeine after show with Parla after our second best of 3. Make sure you head over to caffeine.com/face it. And there'll be exclusive interviews there, lots of behind-the-scenes content. And I hear there is a live band. I heard them practicing earlier, and they were fantastic. So you'll make sure you tune into that. But we're going to head for a quick break, but when we come back, we'll be getting into our second best of 3. Don't go anywhere.